Back on Inside Tennessee, again, we're on the road. Robin Wilhoit, my colleague, joining us today, and we're with Dean Wanamaker, who is the head of the Howard Baker School Public Policy Center on the campus of the University of Tennessee. And Robin, you had a chance to sit down with somebody who's playing a role, an outsized role in the development of students here.
That's right. Dean, you had shared that there were fellows for the American Civic Institute. One of those fellows, a gentleman by the name of Dr. Arthur Brooks, a professor at Harvard, and his focus is on all things happiness. How does that integrate with what you all are doing?
Why is that civics? Is that the question? Really, we've struggled with that question a little bit ourselves, right? As Brooks is actually an economist, as I am. He's a public policy expert. He led a big think tank in DC for a number of years. So he actually is rooted in public policy. He came to happiness through the side door, meaning that he didn't start out as a psychologist, but he landed in those topics. One thing that Brooks has taught us and that we're really enjoying learning more about is that the entire American experiment is about the pursuit of happiness. If you go back and read the Declaration of Independence, right, that's in line 2. And really that's what the framers were after. How do you put together a government system that allows individuals to pursue their own happiness? Now, they didn't necessarily always call it happiness, but that's what they meant. They meant self-fulfillment. And when Brooks talks about happiness, he's very clear to say, it's not about, finding your favorite popsicle and sitting in the sun. That's ephemeral. That passes. Happiness to him is about what are the enduring parts of your life that generate satisfaction over the long haul.
Purpose, enjoyment.
That's exactly right. Same thing the framers were after when they generated the Constitution. So for us, that's how it all relates. We're really enjoying that relationship with him.
And we have a story. We had the wonderful opportunity of speaking with him. We have a story coming up with him tomorrow on 10 News at 5:30, and of course at WBIR.com. One thing that's not making us very happy these days is just the unrest, the anger, the vitriol, the political polarization. How do we bridge that? I know that's the 100,000.
Gosh, if I knew the answer. No,
Yeah.
A couple of comments. So one is that our undergraduates, when you ask them kind of how they view politics, the number one thing they will tell you is, we don't want to be fighting. We have a hard time getting students to go work in Washington, D.C. sometimes because they don't want to be an intern in a place that they feel like is just about fighting. So this is the right generation to fix the problem. Now, how do you fix it? So there are lots of different models for decreasing polarization, increasing civility, but every single one of them is rooted in this concept of human dignity. That the person who has an opinion that's different from yours is still a human, right? If you're religious, they're still made in the image of God, and you still need to relate to them on those grounds. Respect that human dignity, then go from there. Lots of models for how to kind of make people do that, force people into that, but that's the root of it all. And I think if you look at where we are as a country, that's the big thing we've lost, is the idea that the person who doesn't agree with me is worthy of respect. We don't have that sense anymore. Howard Baker had that sense. He woke up every day with that sense, right? And so again, that's part of what we're trying to instill in our undergraduates and our graduate students both, is respect for people who disagree with you. We're all Americans.
And in the classroom, it seems that must take on a different feel than it does on X. Where your circle is smaller and you're looking somebody in the eye and talking about an issue versus trading insults or jabs on social media.
Oh yeah, we're really deliberate about generating a classroom environment where students feel like they can say what they think, what's on their mind, and why they think it. And if you look at campus climate surveys for this campus and really all of the UT system, you will see students saying, this is a place where I feel like I can share my views. We're really proud of that. This is not a place where students shy away from, well, I don't feel like I should say that out loud in class because people will judge me. They don't report that at all. And so I think sometimes we conflate what's happening on other campuses with what's happening at the University of Tennessee, and I want to be really clear about that here.
Let's talk about, we're talking about students, but broadening it to all of us. Not that there's a playbook, but if there was a playbook, what could we do to be better citizens? Yeah. Civilly agree to disagree.
Yeah, so I learned the answer to this question from our governors, from Haslam and Bredesen, who have a playbook, right? And the number one thing on their list, they say it differently, but the number one thing is that human dignity part. Love your neighbor is the way Bill Haslam says it. Respect that person. Love is an action verb, right? And so do that first. Then figure out whether you agree or disagree with them about whatever the issue of the day is. The other things that they would say you need to do to be a good citizen is don't bail out of the system. Stay in the system. You're frustrated with the primary process, participate anyway. You're frustrated by the election and your choices, participate anyway. You need to exercise those muscles to keep them, and your kids, the next generation, need to see you exercising those muscles in order for them ultimately to grow up thinking that voting and participation is important.
Even if you go into the voting booth and write somebody in, just the process of taking your children with you or you demonstrating you took the time to do it is important, is what I'm understanding.
Absolutely, 100%. Just do it, right? I don't care if you write in Mickey Mouse. Go and participate and have your kids observe you do that.
All right, we're going to take another quick break on Inside Tennessee. Back with some closing thoughts here from the Howard Baker School on the campus of the University of Tennessee. Stay with us.